doing?
Oh, fantastic. How are you doing?
Good. I cannot believe that we are like already in September.
I know. Will you wake me up when September ends? It's a crazy month. I think I'm going to say that to my husband because I think we are both gone so much this month, and
Yeah.
it's all fun. It's all elevation stuff. Well, I have a little bit of fun, but anyways.
Yeah, but it definitely makes the time fly by and kind of why we're talking about what we are today, just because we're nearing the end of the year and it seems like it's really timely for everybody to start really thinking about where marketing dollars are going, what people are spending money on. So we're excited to dive in today and just kind of explain to you guys why there's a cost associated with paid media management and maybe some smart questions you can ask if you are talking to an agency that might be you might be considering to hire for that service.
Welcome to Trade Secrets, where we demystify digital marketing to help contractors get the most bang for their marketing bucks.
This is for you if you're a contractor looking for actionable marketing insights.
Learn from home services industry experts to elevate your business through simplified marketing strategies.
Let's dive into today's trade secret.
All right, so why do you have to pay for paid media management? Why is that a monthly fee? Okay, wait, here's some burning questions hot off the presses. Why is there a monthly management fee? These are some FAQs around paid media that we're addressing today. So, why is there a paid media management fee? What's the industry average and what service am I actually paying for beyond campaign setup? I think everybody understands a setup fee. They understand the campaign, but I don't think they understand what exactly goes into the monthly paid media management. So, I threw a whole lot at you. Let's start with let's just talk Google Ads, paid media, like that management fee. Why does it exist? And what's the industry average? I guess. Let's dive in.
Okay, so industry average can range anywhere from 25% of ad spend. It can get lower than that, but it's anywhere from 15 to 25%, depending on the kind of amount of hands on work that's happening in a campaign. At Elevation Marketing, we typically charge a flat fee up to a certain spend, and then we start charging that 20 to 25% of management fee, depending on the, the engagement. But that's there because there's a lot more work involved. If someone's spending like $1,000 a month in Google Ads, it requires a lot less babysitting than someone that's spending 5,000, 10,000 more than that. If they're doing a good job for you. So I would just say if you're pricing out agencies and you're not sure what to expect, don't be surprised if that's kind of the price tag you see. You're totally in your right to ask, okay, what are you doing within that? Are you checking on my account weekly? Are what optimization is being done? Are you improving my landing pages? Are you improving my ad copy? What's going on in there? But any agency that is really being a good steward of your money is going to have weekly tasks that they're completing in your Google Ads account to account for why you have that management fee. And anyone who's listening that's maybe tried to manage their own Google Ads in the past or maybe gotten a cheap version of that probably understands that there's a whole lot going on under the hood. It's not like LSA that you can kind of turn it on and you only have a couple of levers you can pull. There's so many different ways you can skin the Google Ads cat. And then on top of it, Google is constantly releasing new ad opportunities like Performance Max is a big one right now, Demand Gen. They're really pushing AI. So there's new products all the time. And if you don't know what you're doing, you could just be flushing money down the drain. So that's why you're paying that fee.
So, okay, how do you know? Because then I'm putting myself in a contractor's shoes, and I say, okay, I'm paying this company, and now, all right, now I'm hearing this podcast. I'm gonna go ask some smart questions. What if I say, like, what are you doing for my management fee? And they're like, we're managing the account. Are there, I guess, some telltale signs or like three like very direct questions that have an obvious answer, or is there like how? As a contractor, what should they look for to know that work is actually being performed? And, just as a gut check, you hope you're working with someone you trust, but how do you check? Like
Yeah.
what's something they can look at? Yeah.
First thing, we've always said this on our profile. If you should always own your account. So if you are paying someone to manage Google Ads for you and you can't log into it, you need to ask right now to get access to it. It's your money. years ago, some agencies would like manage your account, and then if you left them, they kept it. Most agencies don't do that. But the next things I'm going to tell you require you having access to your account. So that's why I'm saying. So I would say make sure you're able to log in. Even if you have read-only access, so you can't make changes, you should be able to log into your Google Ads account. So if you can log in and there's just a change history. You can literally go in and just look for the last 30 days what the change history is in your account. And if things are going really well, there might not be a lot of changes. You might be happy with your cost per contact and things, and in some cases they're just going in and they've got you in such a good spot that they are like checking under the hood and there's not a lot of changes that have to be made. But if your cost per leads all over the place, stuff still seems up in the air, you're not really comfortable with how the program is being managed, the change history is the easiest way to be like, okay, what'd they do this? And another smart question you could even ask them is like, how many negative keywords were added to my account? It's just an easy metric that they should be able to tell you. They should be going, there's an area they can go in and look at your search terms. So it's actually what you're being served for in Google. It's not because you can load a bunch of keywords in there and then Google decides what relevant, there's a standard deviation from those keywords that you're actually served for. So you can just go in there and look at which search terms you were served for. And if they're doing a good job of managing your account, they're just in there adding negatives on a regular basis to get rid of waste. So those are like really basic things. You don't have to know much. And you could say, you could look at your own change history. You can ask how many negative keywords were added in your account in the last 30 days.
Beautiful. And what about you mentioned cost per lead, and I know that that fluctuates based on competition, based on seasonality. What would be something like I'm a business owner and cost per lead is reported to me every month? What are some like red flags? Like, obviously we can't control maybe the competition or your quality score, what that cost per lead is, but if I'm a business owner and you report this to me, what would be a sign that maybe I need to take a look at my sales process, or maybe something internally is not working and my marketing agency is getting me the leads, but because my sales team is not converting them, that cost per lead is going up? Or is that fair to say? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not.
No, that's a great question. One thing I would really shy away from or ask more questions around, if you have an agency who's giving you an automated report every month and there's no discussion around the actual leads that can be associated with the number of contacts or conversions they're reporting to you, you need to do more due diligence. And in most cases, you probably just have to ask for a little more transparency and they'll give it to you. But if you just like with most of I'm working on paid media reports right now and I'm sending things out to a lot of our clients and I'm maybe linking to an automated dashboard, but I'm also sending them a short up true cost per lead. Because a lot of times, if we go listen to the call rail calls, some of them are hang ups, someone calling to pay a bill. That does not count as a lead. It should not be pulling down your cost per conversion. Sometimes it's total garbage, like, you can tell it's a fake email address without even ever having to try to email them. And so cleaning those out and then really knowing, okay, how many actual potential leads did you get that month is really what that cost per lead should be. It should not just be like, how many times did your conversion pixel in Google Analytics fire this month? Because it's going to be dramatically higher than your true leads. And then you can take that list, go look in your CRM, take it into your next sales meeting, chat through it. Say, guys, let's talk about these. Like, and you should be consistently grading them. I'm always asking our clients to do that because that makes me better. If I just figure out that, yeah, this one campaign looks like it's killing it, but every month they come back to me and tell me they were all junk, I'm going to stop running that campaign. Even if it made my cost per lead look good, it's not doing the client any good at the end of the day, unless we know that they're at least booking an inspection or booking a consultation, and ideally at least, are in line with the company's average close rates for all of their different marketing efforts.
That's really, really solid advice. Instead of just looking at the numbers and being like, okay, great, taking it back to the sales team and saying, okay, they did drive a lot of leads, but what was the quality? Did they not convert? Were they tire kickers? Was now the not the right time? Or you're finding, from this one lead source, they convert almost instantly. What's that landing page? It's yeah, because I think a lot of business owners, it's easy to sit in the chair and look at the data and make assumptions, but having the conversation with the sales team goes a long way. And then sharing that information with your paid media manager is huge. It's a really smart business move that I think sometimes gets skipped because you're paying for a service. So maybe you don't think you need to check in So, I guess we've seen all kinds, with our agency, some owners who are, like, on it, and then some who are like, I'll look in a quarter or 2 and see how they're doing," and
Yeah. And I think in a lot of times when we start being so transparent with them, then they start asking a lot more questions, and maybe their previous agency just sent them that automated report, and then I can look at it and even say, like, "Based upon I wasn't even here at the time, and I can tell you that most of these were phone calls that lasted less than 70 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and say you gotta assume most of these weren't good leads," you know? So, then once we start asking those questions, it becomes second nature too for them to chat with their their team internally and start giving us that feedback, and I love it because, like you said, then I'll know maybe that one landing page is killing it. We need to go change all the other landing pages to flow more like that one, or, maybe it's not working and we need to get away from it, and that's the true measure is the quality of the end result of the end lead, way more than, like, how many times that form was filled out. Like, let's talk about how many times that form led to a closed job.
that's the good stuff. That's the meaty stuff right there. Well,
Yeah.
that's perfect. Yeah, so I guess, I mean, I think that really covers it. Like, it's not just to set it and forget it if the job is being done right. If it is set it and forget it, then you're probably paying, $1,000 a month, maybe $15 a month for paid media management. Like, it's
Yeah, and if you are, and you could, as long as if you can reach out to to whoever's managing it and say, like, help me figure this out. We always use landing pages with a dedicated landing page form, so it's real easy to just tell what leads came out of our landing pages. That's kind of industry best practice. So that's hopefully what your agency's doing for you. So it should be pretty easy to determine it. There's also ways to put tracking codes if they're not using landing pages to still tell which leads came from your paid media efforts, and just start there, start grading them. And maybe you're getting a real good deal. Maybe they're not charging you a percentage of ad spend, they're charging you a flat fee, and you can follow those all the way down the buyer journey and prove ROI on that. Kick ass. Keep going with it. And if not, it might be time to start, reassessing. Saving a little bit of money on the management fee, but not having the right end result is not doing you any favors as a business owner.
yeah, yeah, that's a golden nugget right there if I ever heard one. And then is it common practice, I guess, I know the answer, but maybe people listening don't. Is it common practice to charge per ad platform, or do you charge for the total all in ad spend?
Good question. Depends on the agency. For us, with a lot of our clients that come in at a CMO level, we end up just doing percentage of ad spend above a certain amount. But if people are hiring us and not paying for a full CMO suite, we charge per um, platform because it's a lot of work. Like, I can take my learnings from Google Ads and go put them into Bing, but it's a whole nother system over there. So, and I mean, there's an easy button you can push where it just automates it, but that's again where you can run into, like, you can quickly waste a whole lot of money. So if it's being done properly, in most cases you're going to pay per ad platform. But again, you want to make sure you're getting the very most out of that money. I'd rather be on 2 ad platforms that are killing it for me than 5 that are all being kind of half managed, and I don't really know at the end of the day what kind of return I'm getting on those leads.
Okay, so you bring up a really good point about your return on investment within paid media. Every market is different, every service is different, every campaign is different. And I know that in paid media campaigns, we get smarter with time. What how long is a good enough, like, I guess, sample size of data to know that, okay, this landing page or this CTA is or is not working? Like, what would you recommend business owners just, like, kind of batten down the hatches for how long before they determine something is not working for certain?
Yeah, I mean, I would give it 90 days. You also need to think about it. If you start testing, if it's your slow season from December to February, don't test it in those 90 days and then say it doesn't work. Like, if you're willing to just see, like, what can we get in this slow period, but you should probably test it at a time that there's a real demand in your marketplace for it, and give it 90 days. But also, like, make sure you're talking to your agency regularly. If you're spending a good wedge that you really consider a gamble as an agency owner, I mean a company owner, and you're like, you need this money to have a return or it's really going to hurt you, you should definitely be getting monthly reports. You should be assessing those leads. Like if you stay on top of it, then once it's off the ground and running, you can have a system in place where maybe your agency's just emailing the leads over to one of your sales leaders and they're just checking it. But at the beginning, when really look at it with a microscope, and then once you've got a level of trust and you know stuff's working, great. But keep in mind, a landing page could be killing it this year, and it'll go stale in a year and a half. So it does need to keep being tested. And something that's killing it this year, the problem with Google Ads specifically, and even LSA, as more and more people get into the marketplace, it gets saturated. Most roofers learned that years ago. It used to be like the place where it was like shooting fish in a barrel to run like roofing contractor near me in your market. And now it's like uh, plus $100 in some markets for the single click. And so what once worked doesn't anymore. So again, you can't just trust the company that's going to like turn it on and kick their feet up and they're going to like they just invoice you every month and you have an automated report and you don't even know if they're looking at it. What's working now, a year from now might really no longer be working, and at that point, you're just lighting money on fire. So, just like it's not set it and forget it for the agency, unfortunately, as the business owner, it is not set it and forget it for you either. Even if you're just quarterly being like, "Okay, give me the quick and dirty, give me 15 minutes of your time. I don't need an MBA, but tell me what's going on." That due diligence will go a really long way for you.
Excellent, excellent. I think you've covered all my burning questions about paid media. I guess we'll leave you guys on with this one. If you could give one piece of advice to business owners who are starting down maybe the Google Ads journey, what would you advise them?
I would advise them, if you offer multiple services, you need to look at the service that has your strongest margins, that you've got some room for error to start testing in first. Don't just start, if you're an exterior contractor, maybe don't just out the gate start bidding on every single service you offer. Pick one that you can turn the jobs around quickly, there's a really good return on them. Really figure out which land how your landing pages are working in that market and get them killing it, and then you could start adding siding and whatever else. I'll also give you the hot tip that in most markets, we're currently finding that I'm getting a year from now, this probably won't be the case, but right now, Dex is where it's at. If you are an exterior contractor running ads, I would suggest starting on Dex. It's not oversaturated like roofing and some of the other exterior services.
Boom, you heard it here first. Well, thank you so much for all of your insights and sharing that with everyone. I mean, I learned a lot every time I talk to you, but
Yeah,
beautiful
absolutely.
insights.
Thanks for the killer interview.
Yeah. Yes. So if you guys found this helpful, think somebody else might, please be sure to share with them. And we'll see you next time.
That was today's trade secret. Thanks for listening.
Did you find this helpful? We're just getting started.
Subscribe and don't miss our next reveal.
Until next time.